What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie to 988 coming at you live, sort of through the power of the internet. We are actually recording this live via Twitch, Twitch TV. This is my Boogie Night series in which I like to talk about video games. Sometimes I have guests on, sometimes I don't. I like to do the show solo. Many of you seem to enjoy it solo. Of course, it's a very long video that we're creating here and a very long show that we're hosting tonight. I recommend that you turn the graphic quality all the way down so you don't have to look at my fat, ugly face, and you can listen to us decompressing a little bit about E3. Of course, if you ever get an opportunity to see one of these filmed live, I don't really promote them live too much on Twitch, but that's where I like to record them because I like to see your all's feedback as we go. This episode, in order to try to make this happen more often, is actually being brought to you by the good folks at Loot Crate. Now, you guys know I do a Loot Crate unboxing every month. This month's is going to be Transform, and if you order between now and the 19th of the month, you'll get this awesome Transform build box. It's going to have Transformer themed and some other good things. Who knows what we'll get? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That's the risk you take. But if you use the link down below, lootcrate.com/boogie2988, and use boogie2988 when you order, you'll get a discount code, and I'll get a couple bucks. You save a couple bucks, I get a couple bucks. I always feel dirty doing sponsors, but it's something that's going to keep me bringing this series back. For those of you who like it, some of you don't like it, and that's okay too. But hey, sponsorship makes the world work. So we're going to talk about E3 tonight, and we're going to ask the age-old question, who won E3 for 2014? Now, a lot of people are going to be a little confused by my answer, and I'd like to say it towards... Oh, some cop... People are yelling at me because my crappy collar. A lot of people are going to expect me to say maybe Nintendo, or maybe Microsoft, or maybe Sony. And I'm not. This isn't clickbait, so I'm not going to keep you waiting until all the way at the end of the video in order for you to find out who I think won E3. The answer is very, very simple and very, very easy. We won E3. You and me, we won E3. Absolutely. Doesn't matter if it was Ubisoft, EA, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony. They all had incredible shows this year. They all fought very, very hard to maintain us making that purchase and enjoying their systems, enjoying what they're bringing to the table, whether it's the Vita, the 3DS, or any of the main consoles, or even the PC gaming. All across the answer, there has been a definitive answer to that. Who won E3? It was us. Now, when it came to who had the best show... That's something we will answer at the end of the thing. Who basically brought the best show to the table based on a variety of different criteria. Now, damn this collar. Okay, one more time. We're gonna try this collar one more stupid time. There we go. All right, we got our collar fixed. We will use this following criteria. And this is an arbitrary criteria, just like any weighing of this is going to be arbitrary. But I want to give you the criteria that we're looking at. Now, there is a chart that's floating around that I caught off of Reddit today. That chart is a little biased. It's clearly made by someone who's a big PlayStation fan, doesn't want Xbox to win. I'm going to link that. I'm going to link it down here below so you can take a look at it. It'll be underneath the Loot Crate link there. And if you want to click that, feel free. But I will warn you, it's a little tilted towards Sony. I'm going to be using that as one of our reference guides to talk about the variety of things that we saw at E3. We are going to focus on the exclusives. Now, this is going to mean a lot of games are missing from your list, and that's going to be frustrating for a lot of people. For example, No Man's Sky, which will get a timed exclusive for PlayStation, is not on the list. The reason it's not on the list is because it's a multiplat. We're going to ignore all multiplats today. That means stuff like AC Unity, No Man's Sky, Grand Theft Auto coming to the consoles. All of the multiplat stuff is not going to be focused on today. The criteria that we're going to judge everybody's show on is exclusives. So without any further ado, let's get into the exclusives. Now I'm going to go in the order of the way the shows appeared. And by the way, if you check the top left corner here, top right corner for you, you'll notice that I'm going to change the graphic as we discuss each individual console. So if you need to skip around the video to just hear the parts you want to hear, that's okay. We'll start off with Xbox, and we're going to put Xbox in the top left corner because Xbox got to go first this year. Now, we'll start off with Forza Horizon 2. Mostly chatter here, a little bit of gameplay, of course. The game looks phenomenal. It's a game that I absolutely am dying to play. The Forza series has never been something I was particularly interested in, but the Horizon series, which allows you to do an open world exploration, is fantastic. A great idea to not just be able to race around tracks, but to be able to race around an entire world. That's awesome. The series it's the second of the series. I did not play the first, so I have very little that I can honestly say about it, other than it looked really good at the show. It's the kind of exclusive I think that makes people who are into that kind of thing really excited. The Forza series is now currently known in some circles as filled with microtransactions. We can't really say anything about that until we see the actual game. So Forza Horizon 2 is a game that I'm absolutely looking to purchase. It's one that I'm excited about. It looked fantastic on stage. They covered it well. It's being designed by good people. Just overall, nails it. One of my games for E3, and potentially my game of E3, and the game I'm most excited for when it comes to Xbox One is absolutely Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive, if you're unfamiliar, appears to take place in a really bizarre open world in which you do a lot of over-the-top stuff, fighting over-the-top monsters, playing over-the-top characters, experiencing over-the-top things, using over-the-top weapons. Everything that I loved from Saints Row, the later Saints Rows, everything that I loved from Borderlands, everything that I loved from these types of things seem to be thrown together here. And if you're unfamiliar with the gameplay, I highly recommend you do check out Sunset Overdrive. I think it is probably the most exciting title for Xbox One exclusivity. Something I think that is going to sell probably bucket loads. Now, again, we're only talking about the E3 hype. It looks fantastic from everything we've seen so far. The team behind it seems to be very knowledgeable. And it's like they said in one of their promo videos for the game, it's all been leading up to this. This is our ultimate game. This is what we've been driving for, and I think it's going to be the game that I'm most excited about. It's certainly one of my favorite games of E3 this year. Dance Central Spotlight is also an exclusive for Xbox One. Kind of makes sense with the Kinect, and I don't give a shit. But my wife did express a slight amount of interest in it, and again, I'm clearly not their target audience because I can't dance. I can on my chair. I can get a little bit into it, but not at the level of that the Kinect is interested in. So not my kind of game. But again, I guess that demographic is out there. What is frustrating to me is that I personally asked Phil Spencer, not face to face, but through communications via Twitter, and he even responded, "You really need to show why Kinect is worth it this year." And obviously now Xbox has dropped Kinect. And the $400 bundle is apparently selling like gangbusters. One of my friends at the local GameStop said that they can't, that they're supposed to be selling fairly well. I don't know if they have them in stock at the store yet, or if that means they're selling well online. I do know that they were available as of the first day of E3 this last Monday. I don't know if you can find them locally. $400 without Kinect is a decent deal. I was hoping that price drop would have been even deeper. But I really hope they don't give up on Kinect, and if what the Kinect has to offer is Dance Central Spotlight, I think it's kind of dead in the water. Other than that, it's just a slightly more complicated way to control your Netflix. Fable Legends, of course, is I don't know if this is a timed exclusive or a straight-up exclusive for Xbox One. Either way, the Fable series is one of my favorite series. I hate to admit that. But it's also a game that it's impossible to judge via their initial hype and initial gameplay. Because every single one of these has been hyped to no end. You can literally do infinitely anything. And now we're looking at, who knows, with Fable Legends. It's a game I'm interested in, but it's a game that I think we need to reserve judgment when it comes out. But it's certainly, I guess, is exclusive for Xbox One. If it is, good for them. Of course, Project Spark is shaping up to be something. Most of the people that have downloaded the Project Spark beta, which is available for Xbox One, seems to be fairly disappointed in it. And I got to admit that I'm fairly disappointed in what I saw in my just first hour of playing Project Spark. I'm really waiting until they get it worked out. The biggest part of the Project Spark reveal, though, is, of course, Conquer. Now, I don't know if you've seen the video, and if you haven't seen it, please do me a favor. Search on YouTube. A colleague by the name of JonTron, surely you know JonTron. JonTron made a video about the Conquer reveal as being part of Project Spark. And his reaction to it is exactly everyone's reaction. I can't believe that Conquer goes from being in a real game into being part of Project Spark. Now, for those of you who don't know what Project Spark is supposed to be a game-making system in which you can make your own game, design your own quests, create your own world, and allow anybody to play these games and download them. Now, this is going to sound very familiar to you if you're familiar with Little Big Planet 1 or 2, except much deeper and much broader than that. That's supposed to be what it's supposed to be. That's unfortunately not what it currently is in its beta form, and who knows how great that's going to be. Again, the hype there is way bigger than the game itself. Project Spark is also available on PC, as somebody has pointed out in chat, with Windows 8 exclusivity there. I don't believe it's downloadable for Windows 7 or below. So it's kind of weird to count that as an exclusive, but as it currently is, it's a Microsoft exclusive. Certainly not something I believe you're going to see on Steam. But yeah, Project Spark, a game that I want to play, a game that I want to be good, a game that's currently not good in its current beta build. But it's definitely there, and it's definitely worthy of being counted. Now, the next game on the list was Ori and the Blind Forest, and we saw very, very little of this game, mostly a teaser trailer, but it looks dark and brooding and interesting and kind of fun. Not much for me to say there, other than it's going to develop slowly, and I'm interested in see what happens. Halo, here we go. Most notably, if you're looking at this chart, by the way, I want to point out that Halo 5 is not on that list, and I have no clue how that happened. Do not blame me, I did not make this list. We will talk about Halo 5 first. Halo 5, we only got a tiny, tiny little teaser of what the game might potentially be, but of course it's just good to know that it's coming, and that I believe now is confirmed it's coming sometime 2015. So that's awesome to know. But the big reveal for a lot of people, especially old school Xboxers like me, who played with the Xbox One, I mean the Xbox, but not the Xbox, the original Xbox, Halo, the Master Chief Collection, which is a really weird name to call it, because if there's a collector's edition, then it's going to be Halo, the Master Chief Collection Collector's Edition, which is just a mouthful, or I guess they'll call it something else. It should come with, as my friend said, it should come with a statue of Master Chief holding his Master Chief Collection Collector's Edition, which inside it will have a statue of Master Chief holding his Master Chief Collector's Edition collection. Anyway, it's confusing, but I ruin that joke every time I try to make it. But this is big for me. Number one, I played very little Halo 3 and 4. Because I didn't really play much during the Xbox 360 era. I went PlayStation for that version. I did own a 360, and I played some of their exclusives, but did not play very much Halo. We did rent Halo, but I never really got much of the multiplayer. The last multiplayer that I really played for Halo was Halo 2, and it's arguably the best multiplayer of all the entire Halo series. Them double needlers, am I right? I believe it was double needlers that made it so good. That's what I remember. It's been years. It's been a decade. I think it's been almost a decade. But they showed remastered versions of Halo 2 gameplay, which you can now play online when you buy Halo the Master Chief Collection. And this is definitely a system seller. It's definitely going to get Halo fans who stayed in the 360 era really eager to buy an Xbox One, which is a good recommendation if you're an Xbox fan. They showed gameplay of it, and it looked fucking beautiful. It looked like everything you wanted it to be. Just holy shit. I can't wait to play Halo 2 multiplayer again. Them super jumps, them double noodle. Yeah, somebody calls it the noob combo, the needle or the noob combo. But there's very little bad that you can say about that. You could say that it sucks that they're remastering old games, but I mean, Nintendo's been doing that for years. They're reselling their old. Yeah, I'm glad they're reselling it to me. I want to play more Halo 2. I want to play more Halo 2, and if you haven't played Halo 2, you gotta fucking play it, because it's so good. Phantom Dust showed a teaser trailer, and the teaser trailer for Phantom Dust is mind-boggling to me. I have no clue what kind of game it is. Now, apparently, I have searched it a little bit, and people have told me that it is a card-based game for the original Xbox. I hate calling it that. I'd say the Xbox One, but that's wrong. But for the original Xbox, it's got a huge cult following, and apparently this is a nice remake. Since it is being made by the same guys who made Killer Instinct, there's a real chance that it's going to be some sort of free-to-play deal, but the information that I have on it is very limited, but a little bit of hype there. Scalebound, apparently, is an Xbox exclusive, which, we have a teaser trailer. We have very little information that was shown at E3. There may have been more information since. Scalebound, as far as I can tell, is fighting giant dragons with Dr. Dre beats on your ears while also listening to dubstep. That's all I know about Scalebound. But any chance to fight monstrously giant dragons or hydras, as shown in the teaser trailer, is good enough for me. I want to try it, especially if it's going to take advantage of next gen hardware, which we've seen very little things do in the series. The Xbox One, of course, lagging a little bit in that area. But then finally, and the game that a lot of people are excited about, Crackdown 3, also known as Crackdown for some fucking reason. I hate it when you guys fucking name your games like this. Why would you do that? God damn it, seriously. But okay. I have not played the Crackdown series, so there's very little that I can say here other than the trailer that they showed looked pretty fun, pretty over the top, interesting. Some people in the chat are calling it Crapdown. So like I said, I have not played Crackdown, but it does look like it's co-op this time around. It should be interesting and should be worth playing. But the hype there is definitely available. Some people are interested in it, even if some of the people in my chat right now are not. And I think it's worthy of a little bit of hype there. And that's pretty much all of Xbox One's exclusives. Now, they did show a lot of gameplay for a lot of other games, but those games were not exclusive games. I do not believe that we've missed any of the exclusives. We did not show any of the ID at Xbox stuff, which tends to be smaller independent games, and I apologize that those were left out. But they are definitely available, and I'm really, really glad to see that they are focusing on the ID at Xbox plan, the ability to get indies developing for the consoles. I mean, just the fact that some of these wonderful games and some of these wonderful publishers and wonderful developers that have only been on PC for so long, or maybe the App Store for so long, have the opportunity to provide games for any of the consoles, specifically the Xbox console, and create the wonderful games that were available, say, in the Xbox Arcade on 360, is fantastic, because I missed a lot of those games. Of course, and we're missing Happy Wars, which is also was announced there. A few other good games that are definitely coming to the Xbox One. So overall, let's rate the show to the best of our ability. Xbox did a wonderful job this year. They did not do the TV talk. No more sports talk. No more fucking water cooler shit. Phil Spencer came onto stage. He was humble. He was kind. He was generous. He was a little pandering, but hell, who doesn't like being pandered to? But overall, a great show by Xbox this year. Compared to last year, it was a fucking completely different song they were singing, obviously. They said nothing about the hardware. They did not even mention the fact that you can buy a Connectless Xbox One. But overall, probably a 7 or 8 out of 10. He's probably easily an 8 out of 10. I just thought it was pretty fantastic. I thought they put it together well. I feel like the hype was definitely there. They definitely leaned quite a bit on Halo, which is their bread and butter. But I don't mind that, because out of all the shooter series, I don't really care much for Battlefield. I don't really care much for Call of Duty, but very, very solid there. Very, very solid there. PlayStation 4. Now, before we get to talking about PlayStation 4, hold on, let me clear my throat. Before we get into PlayStation 4, I will, as always, up front tell you that I have a slight bias towards PlayStation 4. I'd say I like PlayStation 10% more than I like Xbox these days. That's just the facts of it. So if I show a slight bias here, I want to apologize in advance. I try to be as neutral as humanly possible. That stuff slips up every once in a while. If you're looking at the chart, you're going to be noticing right now that there are DLCs that are included on this chart, and we're going to talk about them briefly, only because they showed so much of that time on the show. We also did not cover Forza's free DLC, brand new track. Forza's brand new track for Xbox One, and I apologize for that. But again, I did not make this chart. We're just using it as a frame of reference. Some of this DLC is fairly good. Now, Killzone Shadowfall Intercept online co-op action. Again, that's the first thing on this list, and it's a little boring. Killzone sold reasonably well, but the PS4 version of Killzone is not fantastic. If you've played it, you'll know that it's a good shooter, but it's not a great shooter. It certainly does not set the bar very high. It does not redefine shooting. It does not bring to the table anything near as powerful as Halo. It's still a fairly good game. The single-player campaign was enjoyable. The multiplayer is enjoyable. And hey, that multiplayer is in 60 frames per second, so it's kind of hard to get too butthurt there. But not much to say there other than if you like Killzone, more Killzone. The Order 1886, the game that begs the question, why not the Order 1887? The game that begs the question, you fought zombies and you fought werewolves, but have you fought zombie werewolves? I don't think so. The CG trailer that they showed was interesting. Again, enough that, oh yeah, we need to change the picture. Thank you very much for reminding me. Sorry about that. Changing that picture. Bam. Yeah. The Order 1886 does look good. But again, until we've played it, we don't really know until we've got our hands on it. So, what do you do? It's a game that a lot of people are a little butthurt about the fact that it's in 30 frames per second. Well, probably the most frustrating thing about it is that the director for the game has said they chose to go with 30 frames per second to generate a cinematic look, which is upsetting to say the least. If you've played a game on console that is 60 frames per second and then played it on 30 frames per second, you have a decent television, chances are you are able to notice it. And if you play it on PC and you have a decent monitor, you're absolutely going to be able to tell it. If you're not familiar with the controversy here, 24 films are shot in 24 frames per second. If you saw the original Hobbit was shot in more frames per second, giving a very jarring look. Some people say look like television. So when we talk about video games, and I'm just going to direct you to Total Biscuit's video on this topic, and I will link that here below. If not, if I forget to do that, could you please search for Total Biscuit, the frame rate non-debate. And it's a wonderful video, and he'll explain it to you in great detail. But the detail that he goes on to is to say that 30 frames per second does make sense. 24 frames per second does make sense when you're watching a movie. Does not make sense when it comes to gameplay. The reality of it is, and what I think he meant to say, is that we chose high-quality textures over frames per second. And because we went with such high-quality textures, we were unable to generate... we were not able to generate the frame rate that we would have liked, at 60 frames per second. That's still a shitty excuse, but the Order does look pretty good. It just doesn't look like it's got a decent frame rate. All that controversy aside, we really do not know what the gameplay is going to look like, other than cutscenes. I heard the joke on Twitter by Jim Sterling that the Order refers to the order you press the buttons in for all the cutscenes, or for all the QuickTime scenes. But we'll have to see at the end of the day how the game turns out. But it's enough worth talking about. It's a game that I think is very interesting. Entwined, which is weird that the person who built this list put that on the list, is a interesting looking game. It's not really dismissible, I think, because we don't know enough about it to dismiss it yet. But it does look like one of the smaller indie-style games. You can't compare it to Journey, because that would be, I think, a mistake. But enough to be interesting. It's apparently a story about a paper fish An origami fish and an origami bird who are in love and want to be together but can't. What the fuck are we? What the fuck is this game? But the fact that it has me saying things like that is enough to make me question whether or not it's worth playing, and it probably will be. And the best part about it is, since it's a smaller game, it might eventually end up for free on PlayStation 4, so even if you choose not to buy it, you do have PlayStation Plus, you probably eventually get it for free. Another piece of DLC that I think is very interesting is Infamous First Light. This is a different character to play, new power sets, new areas to explore, all that's cool. What's the biggest reason that I wanted to talk about this, and I think the reason it's on the list, they did spend quite a bit of time on it, but more importantly, if you did play Second Son is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, that game is one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see, and once they added the photo mode, it got it even better. Now, again, it's at 30 frames per second, which is a big issue. It certainly could look better, but as it goes for graphics and texture, wonderful, just wonderful. But the gameplay was a little repetitious, I think, because there were not that very many power sets, and those power sets were not that varied. Beyond that, the story was a little too short for most people's taste. So big DLC like this is certainly welcome for that game. I feel that they have a decent core there, and that core needs to be worked with, and with additional content coming. I don't hate DLC when it's a great game to be played with originally. I never finished the paper trail, for the record, when it came to Infamous. But again, it's notable, and it's definitely worth talking about. The best game, the biggest game from Sony's portion, however, for me is Little Big Planet 3. And my wife just jumped for joy. Okay, I'm getting misty-eyed talking about it. Now, if you've never played the Little Big Planet series, let me talk to you about why I find it to be so fucking phenomenal. Little Big Planet is a game in which it's a platformer with a cute little sack creature, and you explore worlds, and you do all kinds of awesome shit. And you solve puzzles, and you can do races, and literally by the time they finish the second game, you could do just about anything. Then beyond that, the tools that they use to create the world, they give those tools to you as well. So you can create anything that they've created, or create something even better. And as they hyped on stage, there are millions of levels that have already been created. Little Big Planet 3 will allow you to visit those levels and play them. All of those old levels you'll have the opportunity to play on PlayStation 4 via Little Big Planet 3. Just mind-boggling that they were able to do that. Some people do not like the physics of Little Big Planet 3. Some people do not like the way that it feels. I think it's fantastic, and it's one of my favorite franchises of all time. Like, it's right up there at the list of, Mario and Borderlands. It's like so good. Little Big Planet 3 is introducing brand new characters, a bird-style creature named Swoop, a Oddsock, this little tiny guy, a guy named Toggle, who can be either big or small. And just love him. So Little Big Planet, to me, very, very similar in the vein of Project Spark, what they're trying to go with there, where you can design your own worlds and create a wonderful experience to share with everybody. If you've not played this series, I highly recommend you start with Little Big Planet 3, especially if you own a PS4. This, to me, was the system seller for PlayStation 4. A lot of people do not agree, but I certainly feel that way. Bloodborne is the next game on the list. Bloodborne made by Miyazaki, which is... what? Looks dark, looks brooding, looks wild, looks crazy. And I certainly just bloody and gory and fucking wild. That's all I know from the teaser trailer. I literally have nothing else to follow it up on other than it's nice to see, after following Little Big Planet 3, which is definitely family-friendly and very cute, though it be rage-inducing, Bloodborne looks disgustingly ultra-violent and awesome. Sorry, one second. Let It Die, I thought, was fairly dismissible. It did not really tickle my fancy. In fact, in the heat of the moment, I cannot say that I remember much about Let It Die. I believe that was one of the smaller games that had that super cool Ultra trailer with the titles of people's names hovering above. But again, worth looking at. Abzu. Abzu, is that how you pronounce that correctly? Abzu is the next game of the list. Abzu, brought to you by the guys who made Journey. It's clearly Journey under the water, where it's wetter, everything's better under the sea. Again, very little we know about it other than a decent trailer that showed us some of the beautiful sights that we have to see. But anything made by the guys who made Journey should get you really excited. That game is an experience more than it is a game. It is something that should absolutely get you excited. I don't know if it'll turn out to be any good, but anytime they pump out anything, I love it. I absolutely love it. But we'll have to see. Again, we know very little there. Last of Us Remastered. Wow. Last of Us Remastered. Now, I'm not big on remastering of games, specifically to go, say, from 360 to Xbox One or PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. The truth of the matter is there's a good number of you who own a PlayStation 4 that did not own a PlayStation 3. And Last of Us to be remastered for the PlayStation 4 is definitely for you. It's also for people who loved that game more than life itself. And Last of Us Remastered is fucking beautiful and wonderful, and I love the original Last of Us. So, the opportunity to play it in a higher definition with a better fidelity, to be able to play it looking better, feeling better, and hopefully with additional content, including the DLC, I highly recommend you get Last of Us. The fact that they are remastering it and they are bringing it, Naughty Dog, everything they do is gold. And this is gold. Holy crap. Last of Us, Last of Us, Last of Us, Last of Us. I can't say it enough. Just one of the best experiences I've ever had in front of a video game system. If you do not pick it up, that is a system seller. It may not be a system seller, but it's one you should buy for, and one that I'll buy to replay. I also never played the DLC, which is I feel really bad about. I hear it's very, very good. It's on my list to do. And of course, the teaser at the end. It's such a small teaser. I would have not wanted this included in the list, and I would not be talking about it if it were not about exactly the same size as the Halo teaser. Uncharted, A Thief's End, Uncharted 4. Again, I'm not big into the Uncharted series, but I am told that it is absolutely what defines PlayStation. Of course, PlayStation did go into a lot of their smaller games and their indie games and talking about all the cool stuff that they're going to be bringing to the table. They did definitely, and this heavily weighs into the score for me, show that they have lured the folks at every gaming company to either start working on timed exclusives or additional content or additional timed releases for games that are on the PlayStation 4. Now, I want to go here on record, just in case there's any industry professionals that have made it this far into this video, any of my friends over at Sony, any of my friends over at Xbox One, I want to just go ahead and tell you that I fucking hate this bullshit, okay? If you buy a game, it should be, number one, I believe that we should be releasing them on both systems at the same time. I also believe that there should not be any bullshit exclusive content. Whatever happened to buying a complete fucking game? I didn't like it when Xbox did it, and now PlayStation's doing it. I don't like it when you do it. Stop. But that said, Sony has definitely managed to use their newfound dominance, slight dominance in the console market to persuade a lot of people to have timed exclusives or exclusive content for PlayStation 4. I guess that's a plus now. And I would be mad at them for doing it if Xbox were not the people that also do it, and we'll just have to learn to live in this world. But guys, I wish you would fucking stop, because it's bad for the player. It's bad for me, someone who wants to own the complete game. It's bullshit. But it's still a point here when it comes to E3. Project Morpheus is also another wonderful point that did get discussed slightly here. Vita is also another point that got discussed slightly here. And those are also all points in PlayStation 4. I'm hugely, hugely excited about Morpheus. I want to go and experience Morpheus. Hey, Sid Schumann, why don't you come to my house and bring Morpheus? Let's play some video games. With that said, that's never going to happen. But if that said, Project Morpheus is big, and the Vita, which is not particularly popular, did get a little bit of love, specifically Vita TV, which is coming out. A lot of people don't really care about that. I care about it because the ability to play my Vita games on the TV is important to me. I've been wanting that ever. I can't really see that 5-inch screen so well to play some of these games in high resolution. So once I can put those on the big screen, I'm going to be very excited about it. Somebody asked about Destiny, but Destiny is a multi-plat, so we're not going to be talking about that, other than the fact that PlayStation 4 was able to lure the alpha onto PlayStation for this weekend. I will certainly be playing it this weekend if I can get a code, and I hope that you're playing it as well. I'm expecting big things from Destiny, but you can't really give too much credit to PlayStation there because it is a multi-platform. Not on PC. Bungie, fix your shit. So, but we do get to dock some points from Sony for their show. And we do get to point out that TV, television. You know, you can rent movies directly on your PlayStation 4. You can watch TV directly on your PlayStation 4. We'll get you that TV. We're making our own TV. We're making our series called Powers. And then they bring out a guy whose power is clearly to fucking drain the hype out of E3. Like that dude, talking about, hey, I'm making a show called Powers. It's about power. And I'm sure the show's going to be good, and I'm sure he's a very talented person, and I'm really excited to see what he has to offer. But don't put it in the middle of fucking E3, dude. Seriously, I can't believe how not good that was. So I guess we have to rate the PlayStation show. I know people are going to close this as soon as we do. I would have given PlayStation's show this year, based on the games, based on their backing of the smaller indie market, based on Last of Us, which is a remake but still wonderful, based on Bloodborne, based on Little Big Planet, based on the DLC for Infamous, based on The Order. All games I'm very excited about, slightly more excited than the games I'm excited about. I would have given them about an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. Unfortunately, because of the fucking hype train just getting straight up derailed, they get knocked back down to about an 8. And I know there's going to be a lot of Sony ponies are mad at me right now. But that's how it is. That TV shit just pissed me off, man. And, the games, it would have been unacceptable were the games not there to back it up. But thankfully, the games were definitely there to back it up. So, for those keeping score, by the way, that does leave them tied with Xbox. So that's where we are now. And let me fix my little graphic here, and we'll start talking about the good folks over at Nintendo. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Back to good old Nintendo. Ah, boy. It's going to be hard to do, folks, but we're going to do it. Even though some of you going to get mad. Y'all going to get mad. Let's talk about Wii U for just a moment. Now, we're not going to be talking too much about the 3DS, other than to say that the 3DS titles look fantastic. And it's definitely points in the right direction for the Wii U. We're going to focus specifically on the Wii U. The console that no one bought, and that's a shame because I've had one in my house since launch day and I've enjoyed it. We will also talk very briefly about Nintendo's shitty policies when it comes to YouTube and when it comes to streaming, when it comes to protecting their copyrights. Shitty not for them, and probably not shitty for the end user like you, but shitty for someone who wants to share their gameplay. I really want to share Mario Kart 8 gameplay. I really want to share Smash Brothers gameplay, and I'm not going to get to, and that makes me sad. But that should not factor into it, and it will not. Let's start off a little bit with Xenoblade Chronicles. I have played literally zero Xenoblade. The trailer did not look particularly interesting to me, so I did not feel any particular need to get involved in the Xenoblade series. I hear it's absolutely phenomenal, Um, but not my kind of thing. Am I confusing that with Xenogears? I'm confusing that with Xenogears. That's how little I know about Xenoblade Chronicles. It looked like an anime. Not my kind of thing. Next on our chart is Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. And I just want to go ahead and say for a moment that Pac-Man was officially announced for Nintendo Wii U for Smash Bros. Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit, that is exciting. That is my favorite video game character of all time. One that I feel that I'm kind of based off of. They say that the very first video game you ever played does influence you. And the very first video game I ever played was Pac-Man, which is why I think I'm a person who eats all the time, is nice and round, and I'm chased by ghosts from my past. Holy shit, I'm Pac-Man. The ability to play Pac-Man in Smash Bros. Wii U is going to be phenomenal. It's also going to be in the 3DS version as well. But Pac-Man, Pac-Man, Pac-Man. That means we now have Pac-Man, Mega Man, and Sonic all in Smash. And these three characters are getting just shit on by the companies that own them. Pac-Man of the Ghostly Adventures, Pac-Man of the Costly Mistake is what I call that game. So, to see Pac-Man get a little love when he deserves it. He deserves this kind of love. And I'm so excited to see that he's getting it. I can't wait to play him there. Absolutely. It's going to be phenomenal. Smash Brothers as a whole is fantastic. Now, if you don't know, there are Best Buys all across the country that are allowing you to come in and play a demo of Smash Brothers. And Smash Brothers is absolutely lining people up around the backside of Best Buys across the nation. I've seen pictures of lines 200, 300 people deep just to play Smash Brothers. This is a console seller. This is something that will return them to their great glory. I truly believe, and I truly believe that it's going to sell 3DSs as well as Wii U's. Overall, just overall, something I can't wait to get a hold of. We do have a release date of October for the 3DS version, and hopefully we'll get a release date for the Wii U sometime near the beginning of, or middle of December. But just something I can't wait to get my hands on, and I hope that you can wait to get your hands on it too. Now, I will tell you that the Smash Invitational, which was, I believe, today, has really upset a lot of the Smash purists. If you read Reddit at all, and you know that there's a Reddit subreddit based on Smash Brothers, they have been a little blindly hating on the game right now. But they have done a lot to support the game, whether it's the GameCube adapter for the Wii U, the Ethernet adapter for the Wii U, whether it's the brand new GameCube controllers based off of the different Wii U controllers we've seen. It doesn't matter. They are bending over backwards to make Smash Brothers look phenomenal. I'm tired. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk about this game, but it is absolutely my number one game as revealed by Nintendo. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait. Let's talk about the brand new IP, Splatoon. Splatoon absolutely is bizarre. Apparently, it's a 4-player versus 4-player team, which you go around squirting your liquids. It's so dirty when I say this. You run around squirting your liquids all over an arena, trying to get it everywhere. Get your liquids from the windows to the walls. And you can... the entire point of the game is to cover as much as you can with your fluids. And it's also okay to get the fluids on your opponent, too. You want to get the fluids in their face, and then their mouths, and all over their hair, and all over their chests. You just want to cover them in your fluids. And when you cover them in the fluids, it slows them down, and you can move quicker through your fluids by turning into a squid. You can't make shit like this up. This is actually what you do. You can swim through your fluids, and if you can swim through your team's fluids quicker than you can your opponent's fluids, I guess because somebody else's fluids are gross. That's the game, and it's brave, and it's interesting, and it's cool, and I think it's fantastic. It shows how innovative Nintendo can be when they want to be. And you look at Smash Brothers. This is a repeat of another game, Mario Kart. All these games are repeats to an extent, But this game is just when someone sat around and said, what if you could turn into a squid? What if you could squirt your paintball fluids all over the place and swim through them? That's just cool. If you haven't checked out that trailer, you absolutely should. It looks phenomenal. Hyrule Warriors, which you now have a release date for, though the release date is escaping my mind at the moment. Hyrule Warriors is a game that I cannot wait to get my hands on. At first, I thought to myself, well, it's just Link and Destiny Warriors. Who gives a shit? Nope. This game is proving to be way more interesting than that. What they showed on the stage, whether it's the different playable characters, including Midna and Princess Zelda and Link, or the different levels, or the just massive numbers of monsters that you can fight at one time. Hyrule Warriors looks a hell of a lot better than I originally gave it credit for. So again, another great offering. Bayonetta 2, and we have some interesting developments here with Bayonetta 2 that I want to talk about. Now, I'm a huge fan of the original Bayonetta. I thought it was an interesting game, kind of fan servicey to the anime crowd, which I was at the time when I played it. I was watching a lot of anime, don't so much anymore. Anime. A lot of people hate it when I say anime, but anime. Bayonetta 1, fun game, bizarre, fighting demons, angels, I don't fucking even know. It was weird. Bayonetta 2, which was, I thought, supposed to come out with the launch of the Wii U, has still not been released. We do not even yet have a release date. But Bayonetta 2 will include the original Bayonetta. And I think that's great. They showed a lot of weird stuff with Link's outfit and Mario outfits, and it just was a weird trailer. But that's what you learn to expect from this game. You expect weird. You want weird. I crave weird from Bayonetta. I also kind of crave sexy, because she was really kind of hot in the first game, so I don't know if we're going to get the hot, sexy, pornish stuff that we got from the first game. The second one, and maybe they'll even edit some of that out from the first game. But overall, Bayonetta is something that I'm very eager to play. I wish we had a release date, which we may have now. I think somebody in the chat is saying it is October, and I hope that is the release date. Very, very eager to play that game. It was very fan servicey, somebody says in chat, and that is true, but I like fan service from time to time. I like to be pandered to. We all do. We don't admit it, but we all do. Next on my list is Yoshi's Woolly World. Now, I know not a lot of people played Kirby's Epic Yarn. Me and my wife did play that game extensively, and we enjoyed it. We beat it, and we even unlocked some of the bonus stuff. The Yarn series of games, this will be the second, I guess, in the series of yarning up games. They are notorious for being easy. Kirby's Epic Yarn was easy, and a lot of people are expecting that from Yoshi's next game. It's okay for it to be easy, I think, as long as it's fun. As long as it's easy to explore. This is something that a lot of people that dismiss Kirby games do not really understand. Kirby games are fun to find all of the unlockables, find all of the level designs. You know, you're not going to die a lot, and you're not going to rage because you're dying, but you will really want to delve into this deep, bizarrely built world. And when they built Epic Yarn, they really took advantage of that, even though that game was very, very light and not as deep as I would have liked. I'm hoping Yoshi's Woolly World is deep. And I feel like they've really gone to an extreme effort to try to make it as interesting as humanly possible. It was the E3 coverage, though, was kind of silly, where they were like showing them posing in front of the yarn and talking about, we made Yoshis out of yarn and whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping the game will be good, and it's definitely got me interested. Mario Party 10. Mario Party is a series that either you fucking hate or you love. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that most of my friends hate it, but I fucking love Mario Party. I love the mini-games. I've always loved mini-games. I love being a dick to my friends. I love all the unlockables. I didn't care much for Island Tour or whatever it was called. I thought that was a little bit of a phone-in. And I've not liked every single Mario Party game. Mario Party 10, though, looks baller as hell. Also, now that phrase has come out of my mouth, I'd also like to point out that I'm probably the only person on the planet that will ever say that Mario Party 10 looks baller as hell. But that doesn't change the fact that it does. is now what makes it so interesting is that a lot of people are calling it jokingly Bowser Party. Because for the very first time, Bowser is a playable character. I believe it's the first time. And not only is he a playable character here, but you will be able to use the 5-player version of the game in which you control Bowser using the Wii gamepad and use that gamepad to fuck with your friends. Play as Bowser, run around the map, ruin shit, make the decisions for it, get into the mini games, play Bowser as the mini games, kill your friends, destroy your friends, steal their coins, wreck the game. Who doesn't want to do that? If you are the kind of person that plays Mario Party so that you can fuck with your friends like I do, then there you go. There you go. Wow. So Mario Party 10, big game, interesting. Another game on that list here, and this is probably a smaller game, so it's weird to see it on the list, but we're going to talk about it anyway. The Mario Maker game. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this, let me go and explain to you what it is. It is your ability to use the gamepad for the Wii U to create your very own Mario levels, similar to Project Spark, similar to Little Big Planet. And but except it's Mario. It's fucking Mario, man. You finally get to make Mario levels. And you can make those asshole Mario levels that you see on the internet. You'll have the opportunity to download all of these incredible, fun to play, or creative, or innovative, or rage-inducing levels that people generate using Nintendo. And of course, well, we have to be careful about sharing the gameplay of it on the internet, of course, because they're not a big fan of that. So we will miss out on that. But the ability to create Mario levels seems really cool. Now, some people have said that the levels are so short, they're not as long as normal levels, not all the abilities there, not enough skins. Well, we're probably looking at an alpha or beta build of the game for what we saw. I don't think we have a release date for this. I believe it's 2015 sometime, so there's probably a lot more to come. The idea of it is fantastic. And it's an idea that we've all had since we played it on NES. All of my friends, when I was 10 years old and we were playing it on the NES when it was brand new, we're like, man, I wish we could make our own levels like we can in Excite Bike and Mach Rider. Wouldn't it be so cool if we could make our own levels? Well, thank you, Nintendo. You've finally given us the opportunity to do that, and I'm very excited to play it. So, Cat Mario Simulator 2014 is what ALFK King Games says in chat, and I think he's right. Speaking of Kirby games, we did get to see Kirby's Curse, Rainbow Curse, I believe is the name of the game. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, or something to that effect. For those of you who did not play Kirby Air Rider, which I did not, it looks like a revisiting of that mechanic, and should be a welcome addition. Some people like Kirby, some people don't. I'm a big fan of the series, even though I have not played every single one of the games, and I'm eager to play that one. Devil's Third. I remember literally nothing about the Devil's Third. So I'm going to skip over that one, but it's certainly a game on the list. I remember it looking kind of bloody and weird. That's all I remember from it. Here's a game that I think a lot of people are excited, and I saw it requested many, many times on the Miiverse, many, many times in Reddit. Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. Now, if you've never played Mario 3D World for the Wii U version, I can't remember if it's called Land or World. It is very, very, very good. And some of the levels inside of that allow you to control Toad and use the Wii U gamepad to kind of mess around the levels, see it in interesting ways, and control Toad and have him collect coins and get to the end. So Captain Toad is more of that. If you love that from 3D World, then you'll love it here. And hopefully they'll expand on the idea, make it more interesting, make more depths, make more fancy shit. If that's the case, it should be a good title, because that gameplay is interesting, and it was fairly innovative, and it was kind of nice to enjoy. And then also on this list, inexplicably, is Swords and Soldiers 2, which I'm sure, that's got to be multi-platform, right? I don't know why that's on the list. If it's not multi-platform, the original Swords and Soldiers, which is on all kinds of different systems, was pretty good. I'm not sure why he included this on the list. I don't think I'm 100% sure. So you look at Nintendo's list here, and you look at these big hitters. You got Smash Brothers, you got Splatoon, which I think is big. You got Bayonetta 2, you got Yoshi's Woolly World, you got Mario Party, you got Mario Maker. I think they knocked it out of the park. Now, Star Fox did get shown as a teaser, and I guess it needs to be included on the list as well because it was also similar to the way Uncharted 4 and Halo 5 were teased. So Star Fox is definitely coming to the Wii U, but we know very, very little there. Zelda for the Wii U was also teased, showing that there is an open world Zelda in the works. Now, this is a game that I have interesting comments on that not a lot of people seem to agree with. Now, a lot of people are super hyped with Zelda Wii U. And I'm hyped too, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people are expecting it to be Skyrim via the Zelda universe. Do I think it's going to be that? No, I don't. Do I think it's going to be as open and as deep as Skyrim? Absolutely zero chance. Zero chance. Open world technology is new to Nintendo. Now, some people will argue that you will see a fair amount of open world in the cartoonish version Wind Waker Zelda, and it is fairly open world, but even they say in their own E3 coverage of the new Zelda that it's not as open world as they would like it to be. So I don't understand where people are getting the Skyrim comparison, but I feel that it probably will be similar to Skyrim Lite. And you skin that with Legend of Zelda, you're talking about one of the best Nintendo games of all time. So yes, is it okay to be excited? Absolutely. Is it okay to be hyped? Absolutely. Am I excited? Am I hyped? Absolutely. But to think that it's going to be the end-all, be-all game, time will tell. Now, I hope to eat those words. I hope to be entirely wrong. But we won't know until we get there. Several 3DS games were mentioned as well, and they also gave a huge amount of love to the independent market. The Wii U has definitely embraced indie gamers, and they are holding them hand in hand to get as many of those games on the Nintendo eShop, or the Nintendo Shop, as humanly possible. I'm very eager and excited to see them doing that for both 3DS and Wii U. Again, this is the era of the independent gamer and the independent artist, and I'm so glad that all three consoles have embraced this to the best of their abilities. Was there any downside to the Nintendo show? Absolutely. And a lot of you may disagree with me here, but I thought it was boring as fuck. Especially the Treehouse stuff was unwatchable. Most people stopped watching it 20 minutes in, and people have been more looking for recaps. Certainly, the robot chicken stuff was enjoyable, and seeing all of our favorite people at Nintendo was enjoyable too. But a lot of people got the feeling on Twitter that they were frustrated with the way they presented it, and of course, it wasn't a live show and that kind of thing. The other thing that a lot of people do not like is the Amiibo system. The Amiibo system is frustrating and upsetting to a lot of people. Now, I'm surprisingly not one of those people, and you may wonder why. A lot of people are like, no, do not bring plastic fucking toys into Smash Brothers. Do not bring plastic fucking toys into Mario Kart. Well, the truth of the matter is, I look at it as a USB drive, and that's almost exclusively what they are. You buy a $20 or $30 Mario statue, and it does give you the ability to save your personal data, your metadata. It gives you the opportunity to play and keep track of your stats in Smash Brothers or wherever. And then, of course, in addition to that, you have access to the character. And then, of course, you can level up those characters and things. I think a lot of people that play Smash Brothers, in fact, I know they are because I've been reading about this on the subreddit all day for Smash Brothers. A lot of people are going to be very serious about it, and they're not going to want to mess with Amiibos. A lot of people who play Mario Kart are going to feel the same way. People who play Mario Party aren't going to give a shit. And $20 or $30 is a guess, by the way. That is complete speculation, and I want to be very clear that is complete speculation. I have no clue how much they'll cost, but if you compare it to Skylanders, Skylanders can run as cheap as $15 to as much as $30 or $35. So, whatever. At the end of the day, I'm not too bothered with Amiibos because they are entirely optional. It is only when things become the norm and required. If they were required to play Smash Brothers, I would be pissed. But they're not, and that's good. and I'm okay. Plus, I'm going to get me one of those Pikachus, because that's going to be fucking cool. That's all I'm saying. And if it costs me $20 or $30 or $15, or hell, hopefully 10, that'll make me very, very happy. So overall, what can we give Nintendo's show? Well, I'm going to just go ahead and say right out here, and I'm sorry to my friends over at Xbox, and I'm sorry to my friends over at PlayStation, and I wish I had friends over at Nintendo. Nintendo kicked ass. Now, if you're not the kind of person that's interested in Nintendo games, you're not going to give a shit about Nintendo's E3 showing. If you're not the kind of person that ever wants to own a Wii U, you're not going to want to be excited. But when it comes to Zelda and Mario Party and Smash Brothers and Bayonetta and Mario Maker, all of this stuff is gold. And the most innovative game and the most interesting game is some silly, silly thing called Splatoon. And I saw a tweet, and forgive me for forgiving who said this, Xbox and PlayStation were all business this year. And I get that. And they were all like, how can we raise our social media awareness in the second quarter here so that we can get additional sales for our DLC? And, I get that because it's a business. I get that. But Nintendo was irreverent and fun and cool and just enjoyable this year. It was just really enjoyable. Now, it wasn't perfect because, number one, it was digitally recorded. So they had a huge advantage over everybody else. Secondly, they had their downsides too with the amiibo stuff and the treehouse coverage, which was frustrating to watch and boring. And those definitely do knock off some points. But guys, and I'm being as fair as I can here to the other competition, I'm giving Nintendo an 8.5. 2 and 9, they definitely, to me, were not perfect. They were kid-oriented, but their show was phenomenal. Phenomenal. So there you go, 8.5, just barely eking out the other two. All three brought it home. All three did a wonderful job. I wasn't, all three consoles definitely gave you plenty of reasons to buy, and all of the games are beautiful. All of these games are exciting. All of these games are things I absolutely need to have. And that said, once again, who won E3? We did. You and I. The people sitting in this chat. It doesn't matter what system you have. You are going to have great games to play. It doesn't matter what you want to do. Somebody's like 9. I said 8.5. 8.5 is where I'm at. Somebody's like 9. That's generous. Well, yeah. Just overall, it doesn't matter. You and I win this year. And rating how exciting their shows were to watch is ultimately pointless. What matters, as always, is the games. It doesn't matter what box you play them on. It doesn't matter which console there are. A console's a piece of plastic. The games. And it doesn't matter if you're excited for Halo or Smash Brothers or Infamous or The Last of Us or The Order or Uncharted or Mario Party or any of this. It doesn't matter. We win because games. And there you go. Now, we're not going to talk much about the third-party stuff, the multiplats this year, because you got the opportunity to talk about that again soon. But I just wanted to focus on the major three consoles and talk about who wins and who definitely did it. And I think they all brought it home. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, did we forget to change? No, we did not. Okay, good. I was afraid I forgot to change this graphic. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, thank you very much for listening. I would love to hear what games you were most excited about, what exclusives you think are good and which ones you're not, which company won E3 this year and gave the best, most exciting show, what games you care about and which ones you don't. Don't forget, all my social media is right up here at the top of the screen. Follow me in all of these places, and I'd appreciate it. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for enjoying my YouTube content, and I'll talk with you soon.